Oh, hey, we're live.
Oh,
Let's you know what? Let's just roll into this.
yeah, I'm eager to get it done with.
All right. Hey, this is Tony.
Now, this is David.
We are the backseat producers. And I believe that we're probably not going to ever talk about The Flash. I mean, unless you want to see it.
I mean, I'm gonna see it.
Well, sure.
Maybe I'll
Sure.
see it tomorrow. I don't think I got shit going on.
All right. Well, maybe we will talk about it.
Nah, it's all right. I don't need. I don't have a press. I have a pressing need to talk about a superhero movie, and it's not The Flash.
Right? Yeah, I know. And we will be talking about that next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, they're both multiverse stories, and I bet one of them is very bad and one of them is incredible.
That's a good bet.
Yeah.
I would not take that bet from you.
Yeah. That's a good call.
Uh, I'm let's see, I'm about 2/3 of the way through the Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook, the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. Good stuff. I
Yeah.
am enjoying it.
It's it's like Future Man.
Yeah,
The
it is.
concept is real dumb.
Hmm.
Just from the elevator pitch, you're like, this is gonna be real stupid. But
And even when you're in it,
mm-hmm.
and then you get the pitch for book 3,
Mm-hmm.
it's a dungeon level, but on trains. It's like, man, this is gonna be dumb.
That's actually what sold me on it.
Really?
God, I love trains.
Wow. Yeah.
I love everything about trains.
Yeah. That it's been very good. It has been very, very good.
They are doing right now the sixth book is out, but not the audiobook.
Right, the physical book
Mm.
is in print, yeah.
So the narrator, Jeff Hayes, is doing these live stream events where he's cold reading the stuff from the book, which I
Nice.
haven't been watching because I don't want to be spoiled on any of the stuff.
Sure, sure.
But like they got the number of stream viewers necessary for him to get Princess Donut tattooed on his ass.
All right. I mean, they're streaming that, right?
uh, I think so. I think they are going to live stream it.
That's fantastic.
Ugh, love it so much.
I mean, why not?
Hmm.
I mean, I feel like I should make that a stretch goal of Sausage Fest at some point. I will tattoo Princess Donut on my ass.
I didn't realize it was just also going to be Princess Donut. Queen Anne Chunk.
All right, so next week we're going to talk about Across the Spider-Verse,
Yes.
the second in that series.
I've seen it twice.
Nice,
Twice.
very good, very good. I will not end up seeing it again before we talk about it, but I will probably see it again when it hits streaming. And I'm really hoping we can get it streaming before the third one comes out. And just watch them both.
I mean,
Like
the third
watch
one's
them.
not coming out for another year, so
Comes out in March.
yeah,
Yeah,
about a yearish.
yeah. So watch
We
both
got
of those
time.
right before
Mm-hmm.
and walk right into that third one.
Mm-hmm.
So this week we're going to talk about Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. This was your suggestion.
This was my suggestion because Tina Turner died.
Yes, that's true.
So you know who's at fault?
Tina Turner
Tina Turner
for dying
dying.
and for not making a whole lot of movies that she was in
Mm-hmm.
the capacity of acting. She was in a few. I don't. Did we ever talk about Last Action Hero? Because we could have
Last
talked
Action
about.
Hero.
She was the mayor.
Oh, why didn't we talk about Last Action Hero?
We still can.
I
I will
liked
watch.
Last Action Hero.
That is a movie that there's a few movies that if cable's on and I happen to stumble upon it, I will just watch it from wherever I'm at. Uh, I started last night. I did that, and it was Aliens, and I
Oh,
was
that's a good one,
literally in the
though.
first 5 minutes of Aliens, and I just watched the whole thing. I'm like, well, this is one of those movies I can't change the channel. Like the remote is now broken; it will not change. So I watched that again, and it
It's
was
also.
just as great as
Oh, I
the
bet it was.
45,000 times I've already seen it.
The real obnoxious thing about trying to find out what movie she's been in is that it lists every music video.
Yeah, yeah, and you can sort like you can search by the words music video, but not by like film because the films that she's been in, there's just nothing.
Oh yeah, it just says the name of the character she was.
Right. Yeah, so she was in Tommy and she was in Last Action Hero. She was
Mm-hmm.
in this. There was something else, I think, real early on. Sergeant Pepper, I
Yep.
believe.
Mm-hmm.
If memory serves, I think those are the only movies that she acted in.
And then she had a guest spot on Ally McBeal.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. Damn, we could have watched Last Action Hero.
And we still
Man.
can. We still can. Uh so, however, what did you think?
Alright, so how and I use this real loosely.
Mhm.
How did you people who grew up predominantly in the 80s only achieve the amount of fucked upness you are now, and why isn't it way worse? Because this movie is like distilled Luke Meyer.
it's it is super fucked up. So, what is really wild is the fact that George Miller made all of the Mad Max movies.
Yeah.
Like, this is the same dude who made Fury Road.
Oh, I
Fury
know.
Road Fury Road, like, the concept of Fury Road, like, to watch Fury Road, it feels like someone loved Mad Max
Mm-hmm.
and said, "We need to make Mad Max for a modern audience
Mm-hmm.
and just scrape off the layers of what was there before
Mm-hmm.
and and then take it to like this next level of filmmaking, of production, of everything." Because Fury Road is brilliant, start to
Yeah.
finish. It's
It's interesting to me that one, if George Miller came to me after making Thunderdome and said, I want to make a third Mad Max movie, I would tell him I'm gonna shoot fourth Mad Max movie, I would tell him no. I don't
right.
know how much money this made though.
I imagine it made a few bucks because this
It had
movie,
to have been if they made a third one.
this movie, well, this was the third one.
This is the third one? I thought this
This
was
is the
the
third one.
second one.
So,
The
so
second?
the
Oh, the Road Warrior.
yeah, so the Road Warrior, because the movie Mad Max was like super indie, nothing,
Hmm.
you know, made on a dime, and like to then watch the Road Warrior, it doesn't feel like you know that it's the same character. It's not called Mad Max; it's called the Road Warrior, but like it doesn't even feel like the same movie, like the in the same universe because Mad Max is, I think, pre-apocalypse. Like there's still functioning cities and stuff. He's just kind of out on the fringe. Road Warrior, no. Road Warrior is full on the world that Thunderdome is in and the world that Fury Road is in. Like that really fucked up. Everything's gone. People are scrounging. Yeah, no. So that said, what did you think of the movie?
Oh, it's bad. It's real bad. It's real bad. I think in
So,
the 80s it was probably real good
yep.
because people had worse taste.
This movie was better than I thought it was gonna be
It was also better than I thought it was gonna be.
because, like, I've watched some of the movies of, the mid-80s again, and there's always stuff that's, like, super problematic and really, like, not they're not well written, they're not well made.
Hmm.
This movie this movie showed its budget, and it had a bunch of kid actors. Uh, it had what felt like was stunt casting with Tina Turner, but actually like, she was convincing. Like, I didn't have a problem with her acting. She didn't have much to do, but the acting she did was fine.
Okay, I think the action she did was fine, but only in the context of the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
Like if she was in a movie with anyone who was good, it would have been real noticeable.
yeah.
But she did a serviceable job for the task required of her.
In this film, there were just a couple of good actors. Mel Gibson played his part well.
Hmm.
Um,
But it required nothing of him.
no, it doesn't require much. It doesn't require much. I mean, like, the most acting he does is when he first talks to the kids,
Yeah.
because he
Uh-huh.
doesn't have a lot of dialogue before that either.
That's not true. I mean, the entire movie, he's not saying the anti-Semitic stuff that he wants to say. So
Well,
that's pretty compelling acting
we
from
also
Mel
didn't
Gibson.
we also didn't know that
I
then.
know,
Like
but
like
we know now.
we know now. Uh, I was surprised that this movie was better than I thought it was gonna be.
Me too.
And so I enjoyed it for what it was. And, like, I forgot the some of the world building that was done around, uh, Bartertown and the colony of children. I actually really liked all that.
Fine, sure. I don't know why we had to have a bunch of naked children. They could have had more clothes on for me, but
I mean, they were living in the desert.
they were living in an oasis.
They were living in an oasis. And I vividly remember, like, the scene where they're explaining what happened, like, when we marked and membered,
Whatever.
the
Yeah.
Pocky clips, like, that whole sequence, like, I very clearly remember that, watching that when I was, a teen. And that was all really cool. This movie is weird in that the point of the movie changes halfway through, and it's almost like the the stuff at the beginning with Bartertown should have been like a cold open,
Yeah.
and it kind of was with the guy stealing his stuff. But it feels like one of those, like, James Bond cold opens where you see a scene and it's like 10 minutes, and it kind of sets you in the mood for what's going on, the world you're in, the action, and then we go on to the real story.
Hmm.
Except that that part was the first half of the movie.
Yeah, which is also like we do the Thunderdome early
Mhm.
and never do the Thunderdome again.
Right.
And I get that that's beyond the Thunderdome,
Mhm.
but it's weird that like you've titled your movie a thing that should be like the climax of the movie, but you do it in like the first third and then never
Yeah.
mention it again. It's
I
just like a weird titling situation.
I'm really curious about that at this point, because I wonder if that really was the working title, or if somebody in marketing said, "This needs to be the title
Hmm.
because Beyond Thunderdome sounds really fucking cool." because it does.
It does. Okay.
It
Yeah,
does.
it does.
Yeah. And
And you know what? I want to be honest with you. That same marketing person, 30 years later was like, you know what Fury Road needs? A dude playing a guitar that shoots flames out of it.
yep,
How the fuck do we get that into this movie? And that guy deserves to be a billionaire in a submarine,
right.
and he deserves to be rescued because that
Yeah.
person is keeping this nation together now that Harambe is gone.
Yeah, like the title is amazing.
Yeah, no,
Tina
absolutely.
Turner's Tina Turner's costumer should have gotten a raise after that
Yeah.
because she looked badass.
Hmm.
Um, the the special effects, like you can see where the special effects were kind of the precursor to what Fury Road became 30 years later
Yeah.
because they were slower. Like it was all the stuff they did in Fury Road, just Fury Road was like at a 12. And this was like at a 6.
Yeah.
But for 85
But for
effects,
85, it was a 12.
sure, it was great. It was
It's
a
an
lot of fun.
85-12, a 2015 6.
uh so 2015, Jesus. Um yeah. How long ago was Fury Road? Jeez. I mean, it was pre-COVID, so yeah, my fuck I that's just a void of time that
2015.
was it really? Holy
Mhm.
shit. And we still haven't seen Furiosa yet, but I believe it's been shot, I think.
Here's the thing. Charlize Theron has decided in her, we'll call it Hollywood old age, but she's like 40, that the only thing she wants to do is kick ass in movies now. And every movie where she's like, all I'm going to do in this movie is kick ass, I've been
Mhm.
100% in for. Like Atomic Blonde was great. That other movie she was kicking ass in was great. That third movie she was kicking ass in was great. And I assume there's a fourth movie.
All the movies where she's going to kick
Yeah.
ass.
And did it start with Fury Road? I think it
The
started with Fury Road.
I think it might have.
I think that was the run because then it was Fury Road, then it was Atomic Blonde, and then it was, I think she did that Netflix Old Guard,
She did do Old Guard.
and then she did something else where she was.
She just did Fast X.
All right, yeah, all right. Well, I'm not gonna watch that, but I saw the clips where she's beating the shit out of Michelle Rodriguez, which for me is a double win.
Yeah. She apparently she's been in a couple of the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah, but I can't. I can't
I
with that. I can't with
I've
that.
honestly never watched any of them.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed. I, there's just not something for me.
Atomic Blonde 2, The Old Guard 2. Uh, she was in Doctor. Oh yeah, she was in Doctor Strange. So she hasn't kicked ass yet in Doctor Strange,
She's going to based on the character she's playing.
but she's going to.
Yep.
All right, there's a lot of stuff on here that's not her. Oh, she was in Kubo and the Two Strings.
Yeah.
Oh.
I saw a really funny meme, and it like in the last day or two, and it's like, yeah, so I'm gonna play this queen who happens to look like Charlize Theron, who then gets gaslighted by this magical mirror to make her think that Kristen Stewart is better looking than her because it's that the Snow White and the Huntsman movie.
Yeah, the Huntsman. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, and there's no world where I'd pick Kristen Stewart over Charlize Theron.
You know, a young queer lady. I think
No,
Kristen Stewart's got a
as it turns
banging
out.
following in the queer lady community, from what I understand.
Yeah, but I wonder how that would stack up with the Charlize Theron in that same community. I would. I want to
I'm
do the
gonna have
research.
to.
I want to ask. Yeah, I think we need to ask. I think we need to put a poll out.
I'm gonna have to convene the shadowy, like lesbian cabal, like a queer cabal.
So I liked the movie. I had fun with it. I forgot, like, intellectually, I knew and remembered that the whole Thunderdome thing happened,
Mm-hmm.
and there were the kids that he was rescuing,
Mm-hmm.
but I forgot the connection between those. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, at some point, I think in my head, I put together that, like, those kids were part of Bartertown.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I forgot that he got kicked out and, how that all happened. Um, because it's also probably been 25 years since I've seen the movie. I mean, this movie's damn near 40 years old.
Damn near.
Damn near. And it's probably been at least 30 since I've seen it, now that I'm thinking about it. So,
Yeah, the first half of this movie is a Mad Max movie. The second half is Waterworld.
yep,
I liked Waterworld, but I
I
did
liked
not like the
Waterworld too.
second half of this movie. I think the first half of this movie was much better.
I agree. And then that last action sequence was kind of fun, which is the sequence that basically was kind of the prototype for Fury Road. Like, well, let's
Hmm.
just take that last action sequence and then make a whole movie out of it.
Yeah, it does feel like it feels like what happened is George Miller made this, and he's like, I know this isn't the movie I wanted to make, but I don't know what's wrong with it. And then for 30 years, for 30 years, it gnawed at him and like haunted his every night. And then he woke up one day and he's like, I'm still alive. I'm still young enough, and I've still got the Hollywood clout to go back and do it right. And so he went back and he did it right,
He did.
which I appreciate. And so in that context, I actually enjoyed watching this in the context of Fury Road, like to see the before and after. Like what else did George Miller do in the
Uh,
interim?
well, he was scheduled to make a Superman movie at one point.
I don't
And I
what
think that was
producer do.
right before I want to say that was right before um like there was a change in there was some kind of change in the hierarchy at Warner's, and they scrapped it and then ended up giving the DC stuff to Snyder. I'm pretty sure like they scrapped George Miller's stuff and gave it over to him,
Okay, so
which
this
is
is what this dude has
in,
done
yeah,
in between Thunderdome and Fury Road. All right, you ready for this? He
let's
directed a
lay it on
Tina
me.
Turner music video.
Sure.
Then he directed The Witches of Eastwick in 87.
Okay.
Directed Lorenzo's Oil in 92.
Mhm.
He did Century of Cinema. I assume that's part of a TV series because he did one
Probably.
episode. I don't know what it is. Then he directed Babe, Pig in the City in
As you do.
98. Then Happy Feet.
Yeah, that's right.
Then Happy Feet 2.
Yep.
And then 4 years later, he does Fury Road.
Crazy, man.
And then he directed 3,000 Years of Longing.
He did.
And now he's got two more Mad Max movies coming out. Furiosa and Mad Max: The Wasteland.
Mm, okay.
I'm less
So
interested.
I'm looking at some of the trivia, and the film was originally not a Mad Max film, but a post-apocalyptic Lord of the Flies about a tribe of children who found by an adult. It became the third Mad Max film when George Miller was suggested that Max is the man who finds the children. So somebody suggested to him that it was Max that found the kids. So he took that I mean, if you look at that was the germ of the movie, look what he turned that movie into. Like, imagine how bad it would have been had it not been the Mad Max movie.
Yeah, because the kids were the worst part of the movie.
Yeah. They were goofy.
They were weird.
Yeah.
They were weird looking and just weird. We need a hunter. What? Hunt what?
Yeah.
What are we hunting? We're following the footprints in the sand.
That are very clearly in the sand. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I did notice during that last action sequence, they had the guy with that thing coming off of the back of his head, and he was the one that like got onto the car that had the pipe on it, the train car that had the pipe on it, and they cut the pipe and it fell over. Well, it fell over and he's hanging on.
Yeah, yeah.
The shots of him from the front, he's hanging on and that thing is not connected.
Mm-hmm.
The shots of him, I think it was from the front. Anyway, there's one angle they show and he's holding on and that thing goes up and it is clearly what is holding him onto that pipe. Like, it is just not moving. It is on that pipe. The other ones are showing that, like, the dude that's kicking his feet up and like missing the
Yeah.
markers. Yeah, that thing was flying all over the place. It was not connected at all. Pretty sure I did not see a moving blade on the chainsaw that Max grabs when he's in Thunderdome, which is
Tony, it was the 80s. What do you want? You want
It was
real chainsaws, Tony?
yeah.
They didn't even
Well, it
have
was the
chainsaws
80s.
in the 80s.
It was the 80s.
They couldn't have a real chainsaw. That was Evil Dead territory. That was Army of Darkness, Evil Dead territory.
Was that out then?
Oh, come on.
I don't remember.
Army of Darkness had to have been early 80s. Army of Darkness. Oh, shit. No, 92. Never mind.
But Army of Darkness was the second movie.
I thought Army of Darkness was the first one.
No. Evil Dead? So there was Evil Dead 2, then Army of Darkness. Evil Dead, the first one was 81.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
Evil Dead. How about that?
Yeah, 4 years. I was thinking Evil Dead 2, which is a couple of years after.
I don't like Bruce Campbell.
I'm not a fan. I did like him in Bubba Hotep, but I'm otherwise not really a fan of his.
He was fine in Burn Notice.
Never watched it.
Burn Notice is fun. I had no other feelings about this movie.
What about Master Blaster?
I had no feelings about Master Blaster. Some of us are old enough that we remember the Nintendo game Master Blaster, and that's the only thing that I could think of.
That would have been after.
That would have been after. But you turn into a goddamn tank. For a reason, I assume. No, wait, no, it's Blaster Master? That doesn't sound right. Is it Blaster Master? Have I just been saying this wrong my entire life?
Holy shit.
My God.
Blaster Master 1988, first release.
Oof. Oof.
You gaslit yourself.
That is tough. That's a. Oh yeah, the frog jumps down the hole. That's right. Then he finds a tank. Then he gets in the tank. I do not remember why this game was like this. But damn, was it fun. Oh yeah, you can get out of the tank. Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah.
The working title of the movie was Desert World. But apparently that was to keep it secret.
Keep it secret.
Keep it safe.
God, this game was good. All right, I gotta stop watching this video. I'm gonna have to fire up an emulator and Satisfactory. The new update is out, which means I gotta replay the whole game. And God, does it take forever?
Wow. Apparently, this is the least successful of the Mad Max series.
Well, I mean, after 2 though.
Road Warrior was really good. Although the film was the least successful of the Mad Max series, the term Thunderdome has come into common usage and is referenced in much popular culture.
That's because it sounds fucking awesome.
It does sound fucking awesome.
Its implementation was less awesome than I had been led to believe it was going to be. I don't know why they were on those bouncy straps.
Because it looked cool.
But it did look cool. It did look cool.
It also evened the fight. Like, if it wasn't for that, there was no way Max was winning that fight. Now, when the first thing that happens, his blaster grabs him and almost chokes him out from 3 feet away. Like, there's no way he's winning that fight on equal footing there.
You know, I went into watching this movie just in general with a bad attitude, and that scene in particular with a bad attitude, and I still couldn't overcome the fact that it was pretty fucking like Thunderdome's just fucking Thunderdome. Goddamn Thunderdome.
And then there's the Tina Turner song that was very, very popular at the time. Pretty sure that song gets referenced pretty often too. The "We Don't Need Another Hero."
I did not know that song before this. If they played it in the movie, I didn't recognize it.
It was over the closing credits.
I was not gonna. This wasn't a Marvel movie, so I didn't
Children
say.
say, "We don't need another hero."
Fucking kids.
We don't need to find the way home. All we want is life beyond the Thunderdome.
But the kids never were in the Thunderdome.
No, I
They
know.
never even saw the They never even saw the Thunderdome.
Nope.
Is Max telling stories about the Thunderdome to the kids?
He did say something to the kids about Thunderdome. He said something like, "When you leave here, it's just desert until you find the other place that is just terrible, and that's Thunderdome, or that's Bartertown."
Yeah.
He doesn't. I don't think he tells them about
Yeah,
Thunderdome, but he does tell them about Bartertown.
That
Who
other
run
dude-
Bartertown?
That other dude that they rescued definitely told them about Thunderdome.
Oh yeah.
You know that guy did nothing, but he's like, "Hey, I worked in a pig shit factory. Let me tell you about this gladiatorial murder place." And like the kids are like, "This is inappropriate. Please stop telling these stories." And he's like, "I saw a guy get disemboweled, and then we fed him to some pigs." And the kids are like, "Please stop."
Please stop. But can we have bacon? Because we haven't had any. We've only lived in this oasis.
This pristine oasis that like everybody in the desert would kill to live in.
Yeah.
Yes.
That just happens to have a crashed plane that has not been consumed by the sand, even though the horse was.
The horse was consumed by the sand instantly.
Yeah, like it just went down.
He woke up to the horse being consumed by the sand. One, I don't know why the horse was eaten by that desert. And I don't know why
'Cause
it
it
happened
wasn't an
so
airplane.
fast.
Like, I couldn't remember like how they got away at the end, and I'm like, please don't fucking tell me they got that airplane up. Just please don't tell me they got in that goddamn airplane. Because there's no way you recover from that and are able to make Fury Road. Like if you end
Listen,
the
Tony, it was 85. It was a special time for
it
lift and
was
gravity.
it was a special
It was a
time.
magical time. Tina Turner's legs doing a lot of lifting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Insured for $1 million.
Blaster Master Zero for the Switch.
Can't go back, Tony. I played old
I was
games
going
all
to
the fucking
say.
time. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. It's a good line that you can't go back, but I just never
Yeah.
follow it.
No. No.
So this is a movie I can now no longer pretend that I've seen, which I do so people don't get into a lengthy discussion about it.
Mm.
Because it's like, oh yeah, it's a Thunderdome thing, and then you're like, yeah, definitely a Thunderdome thing. Because I don't want to be like, oh, I haven't seen it, and then they laboriously tell
What?
me the
Yeah.
plot of the
Mhm.
movie, which is what I've started doing with Ghostbusters.
You've been telling people you haven't seen it, or you're just like, oh yeah,
The thing with Ghostbusters though is that so much of it is in the cultural zeitgeist
yeah.
now
It is.
that like I haven't seen it, and yet like if you start talking about a scene and be like, yeah, I know what that is.
Right. Right. Now, have you seen any of the recent sequels of the Ghostbuster stuff, like the female-led
Mm,
Ghostbusters
yeah,
or any of that?
yeah. Only that one. I didn't see the other ones. That one
Underworld?
looked like it broke with the original canon. Like
It did.
it didn't. There was no tie with the original character. That's not true. That's like, but there was less of a tie with the original characters than
Right.
what those other
Yes.
sequels looked like.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Like the most recent one, which they're gonna make another sequel of that. That was a direct sequel to the originals. It was cleverly done, and you could have had just a passing knowledge of the first movies to watch and enjoy it.
and
It's
I do.
it stands on its own. It's a fun movie, but it's fine. I enjoyed it for the nostalgia.
Cushman said it was delightful.
It was, yeah, it was. I rewatched it later, and it mostly stood up. The thing that it did in a clever way that is less like it was done like with a for a nostalgic flair that all these kids are running around doing all this stuff and nobody knows and nobody's keeping track of them and nobody like it felt very 80s 90s, the kids are running the streets doing all kinds of shit their parents don't know about. Like it tried to capture that, and it did that. Like it did capture that. But yeah, that those kids, there have been people all over. Parents just don't let their kids just disappear all day like that quite the same as they did back then.
Yeah, those were the days. Mom's like, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to see you until dinner.
Yeah. Yeah, when the street lights come on, dinner will still probably be in the house. If you
All
want to
right,
eat,
Mom, I'm off to go play with that 40-year-old dude who has like all the shades drawn in his house and keeps trying to give kids candy.
yeah, yeah, that's probably the case, but they did live in town. They were I don't know. It felt like it was still really trying to capture that Goonies uh
Vibe.
yeah, like there's a bunch of movies that are like that. So, um
That's hard magic to recapture.
it is. It is. And
Like, I'm not a particularly strong Goonies fan, but like, it had a definitive oeuvre to it, right? That I don't know that I've seen in a movie since. At least not a modern one.
Yeah, that fun sense of adventure with kids and like there's I don't know. I liked Goonies. I was never like I should have been like in that range of people who just are super Goonies fans and are incredibly nostalgic for it because we grew up watching it. It's okay. It was okay then. I think I enjoy it more now than I did then.
Goonies and Thunderdome feel like an integral fabric of Luke Meyer.
They absolutely should be.
Like this is the DNA of Luke. If you're talking about the Netflix Lock and Key, yeah, that show was rough.
I did not watch that.
It was tedious. It felt like they were doing they had two ways they could go with it, and they chose to go the CW route over a good
Mm,
route. So
gotcha.
it felt real rough.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to say like it felt soulless is like a real weird word to use for it, but like it felt empty.
Mm.
And like the graphic novels are good. The story is super interesting.
I tried to listen to the audiobook of it. That was challenging.
Yep.
I didn't greatly enjoy it.
No, I mean the graphic novels are also beautiful. So
Yeah, I should probably check those out.
yeah, Luke turned me onto that.
I don't have a whole lot else to say. Like I liked the bit where they're like, "Yeah, we need power, and it comes from methane, so that means we just have to have this pig shit farm below the city."
I mean, there's no other way to do it.
Nope,
Okay.
none.
Listen, I don't know how to make methane in a post-apocalyptic world. I'm actually not 100% sure how they captured it in that pig shit farm because it just looked like they had a big vat of pig shit.
Right.
I'm not. I know that this is beyond Thunderdome, and so trying to understand the like refinement of methane from post-apocalyptic pig shit farm is
Yeah.
not exactly the way to go about life, but
Yeah. Like I'm not gonna pretend that the logic was sound, but it was still a fun little hook to give
mhm,
like you can see where they were like stepping backwards, like we need this, well, to get there we need to do this, and
mhm,
and now we need to do this, and now we need power for this town. Okay, so we need, maybe they had a natural gas vein. Nope, that's not going to work because that's a little bit too convenient. How about
mhm.
instead it's pig shit?
Yeah, and it's
Which
like
is probably the guy who was like, "We need to call this fucking thing Thunderdome." And it's like, "Oh, we need something for power. How about picture?" Like he's over there. He's like, he'll do a line, and somebody will ask a question, and he'll just blurt out the first thing that comes out of
uh-huh,
his head, then go immediately back to another line. Because I mean,
yeah,
this was in like 83, 84.
yeah, uh-huh,
So like boardrooms had like cocaine dispensers. Um, so he's somebody asked him a question. Well, you know, like we need this arena from Invited. Thunderdome.
Thunderdome.
Or maybe he just does it and doesn't even realize somebody's like he's just answering
Yeah,
things completely stoned. Not and somebody goes to ask the question. He just whatever he blurts out is what they accept as the answer. All right, we need an arena. Thunderdome.
Thunderdome.
All
I
right,
also
we
like the
need
idea that this dude worm tongued George Miller for 30 years, and that's how we got Fury Road.
yeah.
Yeah, like that guy was just like, all right, man, I woke up the other night after doing ayahuasca And like I had the image of this dude playing a fucking guitar that shoots flames 20 feet in the air. We need to make a fucking movie about that right now.
Either that or I think the better story is because I'm pretty sure that dude in '85 probably burned through every brain cell back then. I would rather appreciate the idea that George Miller was going back through stuff after making Happy Feet 2 and reviewing the choices he made in his life to get to that point, and like finds a notebook. It's like, what's this? And he thumbs through it. It's like, oh, here are my notes from that session with that coked out ad exec where he just started spurting things out. And we just decided to make a movie based on every
Burning things out.
pig shit. Thunderdome. And he's like, we only had so much budget. And then I realized these were all the things that he said that we had to cut. Electric guitar shooting fire. It's like that it was all still part of that same session. I agree. So yeah, like, and this is how we got Fury Road. And it's like, dude shooting flamethrowers out of an electric guitar. Badass warrior chick with only one mechanical with one mechanical arm. Yeah. Before I said a race with a train, and you're trying to do like a road like a chase scene, but with a train. Well, how about this? How about giant fucking trucks chasing people through the desert, and there's like these badass chicks all over the place. And
Yeah.
like I feel like he wrote Fury Road while he was still there, but they realized they didn't have the budget
And it
at
was
the
the
time.
80s.
Yeah, it wasn't woke enough.
Yeah.
The '80s hadn't woke
Yeah.
enough yet for.
Yeah, but he had that manuscript, and then like he's like, "Oh shit, it's 2013. The world is ready.
Yeah,
The world is ready for Furiosa's arm."
I was ready for it.
I'm still ready for it.
It's great.
Come on, Romeo, chill out. What are you doing? Shh. God damn.
Okay. I don't think I have a whole lot else. I was looking at some of the other trivia.
There's only like 4 pieces of trivia.
No, there's not. There's like 50.
What?
Yeah. There's like an all like
Oh,
at the bottom of the list. Yeah.
shoot shingles.
Yeah. IMDb has done they've gone through this whole thing where they are like really pushing the mobile UI, which is a pain in the ass when you look at stuff on a larger screen.
Yeah.
The possible outcomes on the wheel are acquittal, amputation, Auntie's choice, death, forfeit goods, gulag, hard labor, life imprisonment, spin again, underworld. Her steel mail dress weighed more than 121 pounds.
Hmm.
Yeah, Tina Turner's character is billed as Aunty Entity, but nowhere in the film does anyone call her that. She's always referred to just as Auntie.
Hmm. All right.
This is the first of the franchise that was made with US financing, which explains why Tina Turner appeared.
sure that makes sense to someone.
Yeah. I did not see much else that looked terribly interesting beyond that.
Yeah.
All right. So that was Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Next week we're talking about Across the Spider-Verse.
Thank God.
And we'll have to just see what's happening after that. All right. I'm going to wrap up this recording here. So, all right. See ya.